What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Wasatch Way. I am John Bliss. My co-host here is Jeremy Ostman, my hetero life mate. And we are live from the Lily Pad Studios right here in the beautiful Midway, Utah. I say every time we start, man, I can't get over being able to look out that window, see Memorial Hill, and just being grateful. Grateful that we're here in the valley. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a long day. Had a little hiatus last week. Made you do this by yourself.
Yeah, you did.
Little Christmas party, keep the heat on Christmas party, and then I did get out of town for a few days and unplug. We went to St. George. I was hoping for warmer weather, but it didn't quite happen. But I did get to unplug for 3 days.
Good. Happy birthday. Belated
Thank
birthday,
you.
by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, turned 35 again.
Yes.
No, I'm really grateful to be back here doing that one live stream by myself. It's a little nerve wracking because I don't have somebody to pass it back to. You know what I mean? Grateful to be here. Grateful to be doing this. This is our Christmas special episode. We had a little bit of a larger plan, but didn't quite pan out. Still grateful to be here. Still grateful to be doing this. We will not be coming live next week. Next week is Christmas. Yeah. I'm going to be in Idaho. Jeremy's going to be doing whatever the heck he's going to be doing.
I'm probably going to be sitting on the couch watching TV.
Good for you. You deserve it.
Might have to click the hot tub up a few more notches. Maybe sit in the hot tub. That'd be kind of good. Just sit in the hot tub for.
When's the next storm? Somebody said there's a big storm coming.
So there is. Watching the weather last night, there's like a few brush bys that are this weekend.
Yeah.
And I think it's Christmas night, the 25th night, the 26th. There is a bigger storm coming in.
Perfect.
You're laughing at me talking with my hands, aren't you?
No, I'm just thinking it's perfect because it's finally enough snow for Santa Claus. My kids have been asking a lot of questions about if there's no snow, what happens? Well, you don't get gifts.
Santa Claus is coming by the 64 Chevelle. He comes in the Chevelle. He doesn't come in the sleigh.
I saw that post, by the way. There's a gentleman looking to go cruising in. Did they connect with you?
I haven't had anybody reach out. He was looking to ride in like a 57 Chevy Bel Air or something like that. And I just said, hey, I got a 64 Chevelle convertible if you can't find anything. Sounded pretty like he was a older gentleman that might be moving on.
At that time, yeah. We wanted to kind of give you a quick little Christmas special, kind of talk about what we do. And some of you were gracious enough to respond in our comments about what you do for your Christmas benefits. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, but this is the first night that we get to go live from the Wasatch Way page itself. Everybody travel over to the Wasatch Way on Facebook and on Instagram and follow along. We're finally able to go live there. And we're going to probably be funneling a lot of our lives from there by now. That way we can get it associated with the actual name and not just my name or Osman's name or what have you. The other thing is, I got a comment the other night about it always seems like we're a little tired. And I'm like, it's 7 o'clock. We both had full days.
Yes.
Bear with us as we do these. I think we're getting better every time, but we are pretty tired. It's been long days for both of us. First thing I want to talk about, if you're ready, we're going to switch over to this. New Year's, Ideal Playhouse, 1227, Frank and Maryland. Ignore the The Muppet Christmas Carol, that's already come and gone. I'm sure it was fantastic, but I am ridiculously excited for
I
Frank and
think
Maryland.
I was rewatching the live last week after we were done with our Christmas party, and you were explaining something about the Muppets. And Anna turned around and says, "John, be careful, you're dating yourself."
Yeah, dude, Fozzie was always my favorite. And it's so funny as I explain things to my kids about these cartoons from the past, and I realize oh wow, it was that long ago.
What I think is interesting is when I have employees that I'm talking to, and I'll mention something about a show or a Christmas thing, and they're like, "What? I've never seen that. What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Really?"
What's funny for me is I grew up on older shows anyway. I watched All in the Family as a kid.
Oh yeah,
with Archie Bunker.
Always, I think that's the only thing I was allowed to watch because it was like PG, like G and PG. Now, you imagine Archie Bunker saying half the crap on the TV now?
No. I used to watch Sanford and Son too, and just that I'm coming, Elizabeth. It's the big one. That's one of my favorites. New Year's Eve, Ideal Playhouse. Let's go support Steve, Heber Valley Entertainment. We're sharing a lot of his stories on our pages just to kind of show everybody what's going on. He's putting a lot of time and effort into these theaters and playhouses, and we need to be rewarding him for it because it's incredible that he's trying to keep that legacy alive. He's doing some cool stuff out there too. So let's support him as much as we can. I know this is a Christmas special, but I wanted to do a couple of local things. It is wild to me how much has happened between last live and this live.
So we've been talking a lot today, last couple of days.
For hours.
We've been talking about, on the Wasatch Way, we've been talking how we don't really want to get a huge political and huge that. But there's a lot of things going on in the valley that a lot of people may not see.
May not understand.
But we want to bring a little more light and understanding and kind of neutral views.
Yeah. We want to do less about telling you how to think and how to feel and more about just letting you know what's going on and telling you where you can go see more of it. So this is one of those things. I'm going to pull up an article here from KPCW, and it is about the annexation. Let me switch over to the screen here. Annexation of about 95 acres of the intersection of US 40 and River Road. That's that first stoplight as you're coming down the hill from Park City into Heber Valley. They are annexing that, and they're going to be building a big development through there. And reading the comments that I have found on Facebook, true to fashion, highly negative. This did pass. Heber City did annex this, and I got a note from Aaron Cheatwood, who is one of the
city councilors.
And he ended up giving me this it's kind of a quote, kind of a note,
kind of a statement thing, but
he told me, "I'm grateful that the city has had a seat at the table for negotiations, and we have ended up with something that is so different from what the county's prior agreements would have allowed. I don't want anybody to think this is all the way done yet, though. We have some work to do to make sure that the development agreements make sense for the city. And I'd like to see a couple of changes still to what has been asked for and will ultimately be built. I look forward to working with the rest of the council and aligning on the remaining asks." And so that's from Aaron Cheatwood himself. And if he's watching, which I hope he is, thank you so much for responding back to me quickly. And, I'm going to be just as transparent with you as I was with him. This is not a popular subject. Not many people are happy about what's going on, and that's okay. But I think one thing that's important to note is my understanding is that the reason Heber City wanted to annex this is to have a little more control about how big it gets and what's happening.
Yes.
If it was left to the county, it could be higher density. There's a bunch of other things that could have happened. With being annexed by the city, there's a few things that they can control and change, which makes me happy.
Which annexing it into the city is they've annexed the property.
Yeah.
They still have to get approvals on the building and the project. And like you said, I think that's why they did it, is so that they can have a seat at the table and decide or help decide how it looks, what it is, how it is, where it is.
And so if you guys can see there, let me see if I can zoom in. This is one of the computer generated drawings of what this could look like, which it's big. It's pretty in its own way, right? like I said, I don't want to tell you how to think and how to feel. I'm not excited about it. That's the Northfields. To a lot of people, that's the crown jewel of Heber Valley. It's not a fun thing to think about being developed. With a bypass coming, it's looking like it's going to go right through there. Yeah. We've got a lot of change coming up on our plate, and not a lot of people are stoked about it. And I understand that. I understand the feeling myself. I'm not thrilled about it, but it is what it is. This is still Heber Valley. It's still the same people here. We need to show each other love and respect. And, what is it that you always say? Just because we're no longer a small town doesn't mean we can have that small town feel.
I had that conversation with a couple of people today. Kimba, I don't know how to spell her last name, Rusnock or Kimba Bergner is what I know her by. But just because we're growing leaps and bounds, maybe us locals, us people that have been here 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, let's try and, just because it's growing doesn't mean we have to lose that small town feel.
Yeah.
We can keep that small town feel in neighborhoods, I don't want to say in clusters, but, hey, we're growing. I get it. It's going to happen.
Tori E. Broughton just popped in saying, I'm correct. She tuned in just in time. Appreciate that. If you guys, Tori does a fantastic job on her page. Tori E. Broughton, go down in the comments. I'm not sure if she's commenting on which page. I'm not sure which one she's on, but find her. Go to her page and follow her. She's putting out some of the most incredible reels. It's like bite-sized bits of what is happening in the council, and there's no spin, no bias, just the facts. And that's what I feel like we need now more than ever, especially the way every politics are going, between local politics and national politics. You tune into something and somebody's telling you how to think, how to feel. You should be upset about this. You should be doing no. We as a society need to be done with that because it's tearing us apart. We need to know the facts and talk to each other and find out how we feel as a collective.
Facebook is, great because people can get on there and their voice, but let's have in-person conversations. And coming up in the new year, that's kind of stuff we're going to focus on. Is we're going to have roundtables. We're going to have, somebody that's for it, somebody that's against it, somebody that's neutral. Me and John. There might be 4 or 5 people up here in this room, and we're going to have a roundtable discussion. Instead of it's an eyesore, it's ugly, it's this, it's that. Kind of be open-minded and come to the table and talk. Let's talk through it. This negativity of, we need to vote the council out. We need new. I don't know what the answer is, but it's got to be some form of communication.
I thought you were going to say fornication.
Well, that was close. A lot of people probably think what's going on with our valley is some sort of fornication.
All right, enough of that. Okay. Talk. All right.
So one other thing in the news just recently.
Not many people are excited about this. This is my first time doing a slide like this. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to slide over on this new scene. Right there, Iron Horse High School. The name has officially been selected. And you're looking at 2 individuals, going into my notes here. Wasatch County School District selected Justin Kelly and Ryan Bishop to lead as head principals for 2 high schools in the county, including the newly named Iron Horse High School, which is still under construction. Kelly, who's Wasatch High School's current principal, will assume his new role as head principal of Iron Horse High School on January 2nd, 2025. In a surprise move, Wasatch County School Board settled on the school's name and its mascot, Thunder, on Tuesday, hot on the heels of the announcement of Kelly and Bishop's new appointment. Now, this is getting insane negativity online.
Yes.
And some of it I feel I can understand being a little just. Some of it I feel like is making a mountain out of a molehill. But one thing I do want to make sure that we talk about is with this is if you guys look here, this is the rendering of the high school in the top right corner. They're going to put a full-size train with the Iron Horse High School sign on it. There's a little bit of swag right down there in the corner. Looks like they're going to make a train as a mascot. Thunder is the...
I think it was there's the mascot, but I think it was a horse. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look. I think...
This is a train, dude.
Well, I know, but you're going to have a dude running around in a little train going,
Dairy King's got to be excited about that.
Yeah.
Um,
So some new things we learned today, and will it work with the train there?
no, hold on. We're working right now because you're on the thing.
No.
Do it one more time. Try it again. This is the funniest thing is like having two
So
old men
a lot
figure these out.
of people are thumbs down with this train thing. I think a lot of people are neutral. Some people don't care.
Right.
I'm a WASP.
Yeah.
I mean, Justin Kelly is a WASP. Justin graduated, grew up here in Midway. McCarty's uncle. Almost said cousin. That would be weird.
It would be weird.
But McCarty's uncle, he grew up here in Midway. He's been here his whole life. Graduated. He's been a principal. He's been teacher. He's been pretty much everything. He's a good dude. But he's getting drugged through the mud.
Yeah.
The whole school board, or there's certain members of the school board are getting drugged through the mud.
Well, I'll go ahead and say it. There was if you go to Wasatch County Politics Group, it's a great place to kind of keep up on what's going on. Again, you're going to get a lot of bias and a lot of opinion, but it's important to understand that too. Somebody shared the YouTube video, and it looks like there was quite a it's kind of pushed through, and there wasn't quite the respect given to other council members or board members and to the popular vote. Iron Horse didn't place even top 2 when it came to popular vote for the community or for the high school. And so people were kind of wondering, like, why out of left field is this the one that we're having to go with? And I agree with that. Like, why waste the community's time polling them if they're not going to go with the most popular option anyway? But at the other side of it, it sounds like this company that they brought in to do the branding and spiel really had a great brand, really had a great spiel, and people wanted to push for it. I understand wanting to make a decision and not drag it out, but I think a lot of people are upset about how
it was done.
I know
if you look at the notes, if you watch the video, stuff like that, it wasn't on the agenda for a vote per se. So I'm on the Wasatch County Politics page right now, and probably like the first 8 posts I'm seeing are pretty much everything to do with. I mean, there's one post on here that's got 156 comments, 7 comments, 46 comments, another 7 comments, 27 comments. So this is actually, a lot of people are discussing this.
Yeah.
And when you go in there and pop in the comments, a lot of them aren't happy and positive.
But this is another perfect example of why we started this. Is like when we look on social media, we see people that we know and have positive vibes from get drugged through the mud because of one moment. And I've met Justin Kelly. I've had conversations with him. I think everything I've ever had with him is a very positive experience. I like him, and I think this was just a moment where I don't know if it's a lapse of judgment or however you want to go with it, but I don't want to see him drug too hard. I don't know. It's not my place. I'm just here to share what's going on.
I guess without getting real, but I think if we do a round table and have people in here discussion, there's going to be a lot of egos in the room, and some people may not be happy and some people will be happy. But it's just, I think it's the dialogue. Like you said, it's the way it was pushed through, the way when I watched the video, it was kind of the way it was forced.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of discussion. It seemed like this is the way it's going to be, and this is the way it is, and this is the way it's going to be.
And that's not the way it works. That's not the way it should work. Aaron Cheatwood said there's also a cool train station in the Commons area. I don't know what that means.
I'd like to see.
Oh, not Wasatch Commons. I'm imagining the Commons area.
Yeah, the Commons area, the new high school. There's probably going to be, some trains, and I think one thing that would be cool with the high school. You have Heber Valley Railroad. I know it as the Heber Creeper. Some people are worried about the Creeper being the mascot of the new high school.
The Heber Creeper.
I can be the Creeper. I'll run around and be the Creeper.
I saw somebody say they're going to call the cheerleader Thunder Thighs. That made me hurt a little bit.
So there was a movie. I can't remember what it's called. Remember the one with Mark Wahlberg and the bear?
No, Ted.
The Thunder Buddies. They could do that song. I'm your Thunder Buddy.
Oh, I love that so much. It's wildly inappropriate. Megan says she thought it was an angry horse.
Yeah, for some reason, let me look on Jade's post? I thought somebody posted somewhere on one of the pictures.
It was gonna be like the Iron Horse Broncos or something like that.
Yeah,
originally.
something like that. It was almost gonna be like the Denver Broncos horse, but an iron horse. And I think that's why they did the horse as the mascot, because
I liked Deer Creek High School. I thought that was a really cool name. They're gonna go with the Riverhawks, which is fitting for the area.
I thought the Northfield Mud Dogs would be good, because that's pretty much what's out in the Northfields is a swamp.
Yeah.
Northfield Swamp Rants. I don't know, but
Move on. Ready to move on?
yeah, there was one other thing on here that I came across, and I can't find it now, so maybe I won't say anything. They brought it through down on the Wasatch Politics was the misfiling of a school board. Tom Stone ran for school board.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
And they brought a lawsuit against, I guess, the county.
Tom Stone brought a lawsuit against the county. Yep. They filed an emergency injunction, stalled everything, and he lost in court.
Yeah.
He was asked to pay back the attorney's fees, and he's Brad Elhart?
Ellard or something like that.
And I met him. I met him at a little rally down in Charleston. He's a super nice guy. Kind of sucks. I wish they would have told him that he was not qualified to win before the election. Because there's a lot of money and a lot of emotion, a lot of stuff that gets put into that. And I know Tom Stone is driven to make a difference in some of these things. Yes. So he was going all out for this thing. I don't think Brad's a bad choice. I think he'll do great. No. I feel bad for Tom. That kind of sucks. But, it definitely opens up. Not everybody's on the ball all the time, and a mistake was made. Yeah. There's probably going to be policies and procedures in the future to avoid that. And so hopefully it was a lesson learned.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, if you're running for a candidate position, you're filing, they give you a list of everything that you need to have. It's, I see a lot in my business with rebates and stuff like that. We give everybody the information. If they don't file them, I can't control that.
Right.
Yeah. So if you're running for, Steve's probably back.
Gotcha.
I think my guy just rolled into the thing. He'll probably come up here and make an appearance. Who knows? So now, anything else we're ready? You think we're ready to move on to?
Yep. I got one more thing I'm going to move over to here soon. We had 2 businesses get shouted out in our local community. I'm going to go with the OG Cafe was shouted out by the Children's Justice Center. They did a toy drive in their store. They also did letters for Santa, which I thought was really cool. Ryan and April Estelle are pillars of the community. They do a lot of good without reaching for that recognition, which is pretty cool in today's age. They brought in a whole bunch of toys. They pushed last minute to try to get both boxes filled. I know they got one filled at the top before it was going. That was really cool. They're not small boxes either.
Yeah, and I'll have to reach out to CCPC and find out how their toy drive, the Toys for Hope or whatever at the high school. They did a big toy store last Saturday.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see how that went. I know, CCPC, they were in Dairy Keen's as well.
Yeah.
So Ryan, April, OG, you guys might have noticed the mug I'm drinking from is an OG mug. Really grateful to have them in the community. They're on DoorDash now, which is not good for my waistline. Yes. And the other cool shout out is Mr. Osman and his family over here. Osman's Heating and Air donated. How much did you guys donate in total?
It was a full pig. I don't remember what the pounds were, but it was probably about 200 and something pounds of pork.
That's insane. Now, just so you guys know, Mr. Osman did not know I had that prepared tonight.
No.
Osman does not like to toot his own horn. That's why I had to toot his own horn for him.
John toots my horn for me.
This came out wrong. Yeah, heard it after I said it. No, Osman gives back a lot, and that's one cool way. For the last 3 years now, you've donated massive amounts of food like that?
Yeah.
Right before Christmas?
Right before Christmas. We've got another one we're going to do. We pick up, I think it's tomorrow. Tomorrow the 21st?
Yeah.
I think we've got 3 smoked turkeys that are coming in from the turkey auction.
Love it.
And again, one will probably be for us. One will be for the food bank. We did that last year for the first time doing the turkeys, but it's, just as the community is good to us.
Yep.
we're going to give back.
Incredible.
You know, if the community's not good to us, we try to give back as much as possible. And, you know, like I said, it's not necessarily, I don't do it to toot my horn. I'm not doing it because I have to.
Yeah.
But it's just something that I was raised to do. You probably, after interviewing that old gray haired guy that we had on here a few months back, you probably know why we do it.
I understand, for sure. So cheers, you guys. Thanks for the mug, OG, and good job, sir. So next, if you wouldn't mind, will you pull up some of the comments on the Wasatch Way page? I want to go get into Christmas time, Christmas special.
Okay, you have to help this technologically challenged individual over here. When I go to hit
think I'll
the
just watch you
comments,
struggle.
when I hit the comments, it doesn't bring it up.
Not those comments, silly. Go into the Facebook page, Wasatch Way, and go down through I shared the, like, what traditions
yeah, that's right.
this family have, because we had some really good comments there.
Yes.
Christmas traditions, I think, looks different for everybody. My wife has family in Scotland. Their Christmas looks a little bit different than ours. You know, when I was a kid growing up, our family tradition was, I had my grandma Cleo. Quick funny story. I hope my mom's not watching. My grandma Cleo married 3 different guys after surviving the death of each one of them. And I was born and raised with my grandpa Keith, the middle one. And he was kind of going blind. And our tradition was to go up to their house in Hiram, Utah. We'd go there Christmas Eve, and we'd all gather in their basement, exchange Christmas presents. And he would have one big Dutch oven that he would make his famous chili. Problem was, it was like a 12-quart Dutch oven. There was like 60 of us, so we called it splitting a bean. It would always end up like getting whatever drive-through was open when we'd go home. But that was just one of the big family traditions that we always had.
I was going to say, speaking of tooting horns, was there a few tooting horns after a big bowl of 12 quarts of chili?
We had to turn on the heater in the car. No point with the windows down the whole time. The other tradition we had growing up was every New Year's Eve, we would all get together, play poker, penny ante poker. I've been playing penny ante poker since I was 8. Everybody throws in pennies, nickels, dimes, dollars. And we'd do that every New Year's Eve until New Year's rang. We'd go outside, light out fireworks that we did not illegally get from Wyoming, and enjoy each other's company. It's always been family driven. And it's always tried to be as tight-knit with our family, keep up with each other as much as possible. As we've gotten older, we've lost a lot of members of my family that it kind of sucks to not see them and have them there for those moments. But, you know, I'm trying to make new traditions with my family now. Everybody's kind of spread out and dispersed. Is that the correct word?
Dispersed. Yeah. Across the country.
Oh, A Christmas Story. TBS always run the 24/7 marathon of Christmas Story. That was always on my TV.
Now, was it you were you talking to, I don't remember if it was you talking to Anna, or I don't remember who it was saying that they have like the Christmas Story is like their big deal.
Yeah, that's my family.
That's your
family. Me and my Aunt Janae. It was like, that's our favorite absolute movie. I could, every line, I know word for word.
So if I build you like a 4-story leg lamp, you'll put it in your front yard?
Oh, yeah.
Your wife would probably shoot me.
It's a major award. What about you? Did you have any family traditions
growing up in my family, I don't want to say there was a lot of Christmas Eve. I mean, I think we all opened one gift, and usually when one person opened up, you knew what it was because it was PJs that we would wear.
Oh, cool.
And one thing that I wish I could find, and I found some one time in Colorado. We were some friends. I think it was for Thanksgiving. And we were with some friends, and I liked the footy pajamas.
Yeah, I
the
did.
Little, zip up the front. There was one long zipper, and you had the feet in them. And I mean, I would wear them until the feet fell off, and Mom would throw them away. But Christmas Day was, none of the kids could come downstairs until everybody was awake.
Yeah.
So if I woke up and could go back to sleep, I was jumping on all the other brothers and sisters trying to get them to wake up. And then Mom and Dad would get the VHS recording camera, like the big ones. Yeah. And kind of like the brick phone, but the recorder. And they would record. We would come downstairs like sometimes it was oldest to youngest, sometimes it was youngest to oldest, but we would all come down the stairs at the same time. Getting after marrying Anna, when we were, I would say first married, for several years after that, we go up to her parents and they have Christmas Eve dinner, and it's usually prime rib. It's usually a spread. I mean, prime rib,
Nice.
baked potatoes, mashed potatoes, shrimp, crab leg, just everything. I could eat the steak and the potatoes, but I stayed away from the shellfish because I'm allergic. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
not a good situation. But we'd go out. They had a little barn, and of course, it's probably more when the nieces and nephews were little, and they would dress up as Joseph and Mary and the shepherds, and then we'd go out in the barn, and they'd have a manger and everything, and the kids would reenact, the manger
Okay.
scene. We don't do it as much anymore. Me and Anna really haven't, with not having kids, we really don't have like a huge Christmas tradition. I'm lucky if I make it to 10 o'clock on New Year's Eve. If Anna was on watching, she could attest that I probably don't make it to midnight, or if I do, I go to sleep, and about 11:55 I wake up and ring in the new year. But I was thinking about it. What we ought to do is start a new Christmas or New Year's tradition.
Okay.
Where when we go out and celebrate, we just shoot drones out of the sky.
Yeah. Have you seen the ones that have been here?
Yeah, I've seen the video.
Yeah.
And stuff, and that's a different one. I mean, I know there's a company or somebody here does it because, 50, 100 drones or something like that. They go up and sometimes they're doing.
They've had those in Park City, the drone shows instead of fireworks. That's cool.
Going to the BYU games this year, they've got the IT department did drones.
Cool.
And I'll have to find some video and have you show it on here one time because it was amazing. I mean, they're doing a football helmet with a Y in the middle. One side says "Go Cougars," and then they've had American flags, and the American flag's up there, and then all of a sudden it starts to wave.
That's so cool, man.
So
that's so.
They can do great things with drones. I think the ones that are flying around here aren't quite as what is cruising around New Jersey. So
the ones that we've seen, my wife just commented, we've seen them 3 times, and now we're like crackheads. We go to our backyard every night and look up and like, are they out there? Which is so funny. Like, there's so much inappropriate stuff I wish I could share right now about this.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy to go outside and be like, are they here this time?
They're here. A friend of mine in Texas, that I know from my mission, they had Oreos delivered from Walmart with a drone.
I've seen that Amazon was starting to do that too.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It was he's videoing it. This drone comes in and it's got a tether, and there's a bag of Oreos hooked to it, and it comes over the trees, and it comes down about, 5-6 feet, and it just drops the cookies right there. They ordered them, paid for them online, and the drone delivered them right to their door.
Like, I want a Jetsons society. I really do. Like, when I was a kid and I'd watch the Jetsons, I really thought that's what 2025 was going to be like. I'm disappointed it's not, but that's pretty close. We're getting there.
I just want Marty McFly's hoverboard.
That was pretty cool.
I'd probably die, but
Yeah, it makes me mad when they call those kids' toys hoverboards now.
Yeah.
Not the same.
No. So let me get back in my computer. Why is everything so... I'm technologically challenged. So a couple of the comments that we received on when John asked on the Wasatch Way about Christmas traditions.
Yeah.
Hopefully she's watching. I haven't seen if she's popped on here, but Vita Henderson. She's on Facebook as Henderson E. Vita.
Yeah.
She switches it up all the time. I was like, who the heck's that? But she said, myself, she says some of her traditions is she comes back from a Christmas Eve dinner party, usually get home when It's a Wonderful Life is on.
Okay. Is that every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings?
I believe, yeah, it is, because I think she explains it down here. Life is on TV. And she goes, and I'm on a TV antenna. She doesn't have cable. So she gets it off the rabbit ears or the antenna. And the girl says every time a bell rings, an angel gets her wings. After the movie is over, of course, the local news, and then Christmas Mass comes on. She says, I think from the Vatican. She goes, I love to hear the children sing, and they also tell the story of Jesus' birth. Um, you know, I just try to squeeze all my Christmas movies in, like Christmas Vacation, Christmas with Cranes, Christmas Story, Elf, Home Alone, Polar Express, etc., etc. We do want to kind of shout out our condolences. Her mom did pass away last week. So if you guys
I'm so
know
sorry.
Vita, maybe give her a shout out. That, I mean, she took care of her mom for a lot of years. Lori Wilcox says, we don't leave Santa cookies and milk. Instead, he gets whiskey and cheese.
Yeah.
Lori, we need your address. If I show up in a Santa outfit, don't be alarmed. She said the kids leave candy canes on the tree for the elves that come with Santa. If the kids are good and stay asleep, they get a small gift from the elf. And then watching 24 Hours of Christmas, of the Christmas Story.
Her too?
Yeah.
I'm glad there's more people like that. That makes me happy.
I think on Christmas Day, I get to watch like 52 hours of Hallmark Christmas movies because my wife is a Hallmark Christmas movie.
Is she really?
Oh.
Does she get excited when they're like from Midway?
Oh yeah.
When she gets like
Oh
recognized?
yeah. So I have to tell you this. My older brother puts this thing out on Facebook. So the new episode, I should say, Yellowstone just went through its last episode and season.
You're right.
And a local favorite, Bart Johnson. So most people know him as Coach Bolton off of High School Musical. He lived over here in Johnson's Mill. My older brother gets on and says, did you guys see Bart Johnson on Yellowstone? And I'm like, yeah. Well, when was he on there? I can't believe he was on there. And I'm like, yeah, Bart's wife is in there too. Because it was pretty funny. We watched the first episode of Yellowstone, and Bart and another guy come over and they're sitting at a table or something like that talking. And then the waitress comes over, and it's Bart's wife, is the waitress. And then in Landman, which is the new one, Billy Bob Thornton's in. It's about Texas oil. That's been a pretty good one. I've been watching it.
Have you seen it?
Oh yeah,
I haven't started yet.
I've been watching it. We record them because nine times out of 10 we miss them.
Yeah.
So we
couldn't imagine
watching. No. But again, Bart comes in and sitting at the table, and here comes a waitress and his wife. So
that's pretty cool, though.
Bart's little brother Adam was on. I think it was Adam. I don't think it might be Adam. I don't remember. There's so many of them. His little brother was on one of the episodes where the bikers were in the field, and Rick come up and plowed through their motorcycles. The lead biker was one of the brothers. So
yeah.
But she'll go. I was up working on the Zermatt.
Okay.
And they were filming a Christmas movie across the street.
Really?
And I was watching them because no snow, and they're out there with this giant foam gun on a truck, and they're spraying foam all over and it's foam.
Right.
Or they put out cotton.
That makes sense.
And stuff. But it is cool. It is cool to see local movies, filmed here in Midway. It's and it usually is a Hallmark movie. There was some other.
Yeah, I got one right here that I want to read too. Heather's Spiritual Connection. That's Heather Mayo. She's out there at the Body and Soul Studios. We do an open me first gift that are always PJs. We go to the cemetery and then drive around and look at lights. Yeah. Cemetery seems like a weird tradition for Christmas. I guess if you're visiting loved ones, that makes sense.
I think it's more if they're.
I got a loved one I should go visit on Christmas there. That's a good idea, actually.
I got a few in Charleston that I probably should go visit, but I don't go visit as often as I should. So, anybody on that would like to share anything that they do for Christmas?
Yeah, I'll put on the ticker. What was your family Christmas tradition? Comment below. Christmas vacation was always a
Cousin
Eddie. We had Megan and I lived in the Greenfield townhomes. It was like our second place we lived when we moved in here together. And our neighbors' kids called me Cousin Eddie. I was like, oh man.
I can probably see that.
What's funny is I feel like the Cousin Eddie of my wife's family. Come from the Idaho trailer park.
My mother-in-law would probably say I'm like Cousin Ed. Not Cousin Eddie. I'm Cousin Ed. But yeah, no, it's it's just nice to see go around, and I mean there are a lot. When we were down in St. George this weekend, there were tons of Christmas lights. Not that we were out after dark a whole lot, but when we were, when we drove into our Airbnb or Verbo Airbnb that we stayed at, most of the homes in the little area right there had a lot of lights on them and stuff. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much all of our Christmas tradition. Um, I used to love to eat my wife's homemade caramels and pecan logs.
I did too. She made the best
But
caramels.
that's a little out of the question now.
What just happened there?
Did we get a blip?
Must have. We're good.
I guess I shouldn't eat the candy bar.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody out there in the old interwebs want to share with us what your family traditions were?
I mean, I'm kind of bummed. Dave, texted in last week and said, "Where the heck's Jeremy?" Now he's not even on here.
That was
See how he is.
It's my favorite family list, by the way.
Oh, the picture just popped up.
Yes, talk about that, please.
Talk about that for a minute. So it's probably been a month or so ago, wasn't it? A month ago? Yeah, it was about a month ago.
Yeah.
We had Miss McCarty Kelly, Miss Rodeo Utah, on